Hey everyone, Dean Somerset here. I wanted to talk a little bit about deadlifting and foot position when you set up. So you have Artie here. Artie, pull your pant legs up just a little bit. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was if you have flat feet in deadlift. Now if you have flat feet, one of the things that typically happens is your foot's going to curl in. You're going to go into a state called pronation. Now if we look at Artie here, he's actually got some decent arches, but he's still got a little bit of flatness to it. It's nothing too major. I mean, I've seen some people that have like complete pancake feet. Turn around so we can see the back of your foot. Turn even a little bit further. Good, there you go. So when you see somebody that's got pronated feet, one of the things you'll notice is that they actually have their heel kind of curl out. So he's not that bad, but he's got a little bit of curl out going on. This side's got not bad, but just a bit. If he was to let his feet go completely flat, you'd see how the calf line to the Achilles to the heel curls out. Now, if both of his feet are completely flat, when he goes to deadlift and pull up, his ankle is actually just going to drive straight down the ground. He's actually going to roll his foot further in and destabilize his foot. So what I want you to do is try to deadlift with your feet as flat as possible. Now if the foot rolls in, it's going to pull the knees in with it, and it's going to pull the hip position into more of a rotated position like this, put more tension on the posterior hip, and make it really challenging. Now Artie can lift quite a bit more weight than this on a good day or on any day, really. This is like your warm-up weight, right? Pretty easy stuff. How did it feel when you were deadlifting that? Stupid? Pretty much. So let's say you have flat feet. How do you fix that? What I want you to do is just stand with one foot forward. Good. Now, one of the ways that we can fix a flat foot is to try to use the muscles to create strength to form the arch. So what we're going to do is something that Vladimir Janda used. He's a physiotherapist from I think Czechoslovakia, but he actually Czech Republic. He actually created a system where all you do is you just think of flexing the foot to create the arch. So all I want you to do is think of take the ball of your foot and pull it towards your heel without curling your toes. Good, so you see how he's actually forming that arch now. He's actually creating tension along the foot. What that does is it takes the foot out of that pronated position and puts it more into a supinated position and helps him to hold it. By doing that, he also gets all of the muscles through his bottom of his foot to create stability. He also gets a lot of kick up through the back of his foot and the back of his calf to be able to create some stability that upregulates muscle activity through the hamstrings, through the glutes, all the way up through the system. So what I want you to do is do that with both feet now. So stand with your feet square and just create that system. Okay? So you don't want to go to the point where you roll your foot one way or another, but you want to feel like you're just creating tension on the arches. How does that feel?
Tense.
Tense? Ready to go? Okay. Let's see how you lift. Okay. So you want to create that tension along the foot. You don't want to be maxed out, but you just want to be able to have it. Good. Tense. Nice and easy. So by having a more solid foundation to be able to pull from, you can generate more power through the entire link chain system to be able to generate some significant amount of force through it. Now, let's say you have somebody who's got really high arches. So show me an example of if you had really high arches and your foot was rolling. So this would be if somebody had really high supination with their foot that essentially rolls the foot out of position, puts them more on the outside edge of his foot. This isn't necessarily a bad thing when it comes to deadlifting because you have a really solid foot. The downside comes from when you have that foot rotated out, what it's going to do, go to flat. What it's going to do is when you rotate out, it's going to rotate the tibia, which takes the femur, which takes the hip in along with it. So when we're doing something like this, if we go one way too far, it takes the knee in. If we go the other direction too far, it takes the knee out, and you just lose the alignment to bone contact, which reduces your ability to pull straight up and down. Now, one of the ways that we can work with that, not necessarily fix it, but one of the ways we can kind of stretch it out and reposition, if he has a high foot, what we can do is a toe lift before he starts and spread the toes and grip. So don't lift up the ball of your foot, just your toes, spread your toes out, and then grip the floor. Good. So that usually helps to just create a broader space to be able to grip the floor, which helps him to be able to stabilize and line things up a little bit easier than if you had a really tight, balled up foot. So what I want you to do is just try that. So get under, and all you're going to do is just toes up, keep the ball of your feet on the ground, spread your toes, and then grip the floor. Grip the floor with your toes. Good. Neutral. Bam. Power. Nice and easy. How did it feel?
Different for me. More
contact. Yeah, you're used to being rolled in, so being up like that makes it a little bit different. So for your feet, because you do tend to fall in a little bit more, I'd want you to do more of that short foot just to see how that feels. So essentially, if you want to fix your feet to fix your deadlift, you have to look at, do you pronate in, do you supinate out? If you pronate in, think about creating a shortened arch. It might take a couple of times to figure it out, but to be able to generate tension through the bottom of your foot is going to play a huge role to being stable through your entire system. If you're overly arched, which isn't a lot of people, but some people do get there, lift your toes, spread your toes, and then grip to be able to create at least some spreading of the foot to contact the floor. Hopefully that was helpful. If you like this, drop a comment below. Have a good day.